Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Sorry for being so rubbish at uploading over the last couple of weeks. It was my sister's main sort of hen do this weekend just gone. Time of filming is Monday, so I got back yesterday. I was meant to be back early afternoon and got stuck in 7 hours worth of traffic, which was ideal. M6 was closed, so nothing got done yesterday. Obviously the lead up's been really hectic, so I'm back with you now and I'll be having some more videos coming up regularly. I filmed this look for you and thought I would use the Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette, which I have not yet used on camera. So this beautiful palette for you. I had a few comments while we're on the hen do about this makeup look that I wore, about my skin, about my eyes, so I thought I'd do a quick look for you, show you what I did and run through it, and obviously be able to use the palette at the same time. So I hope you enjoy. You'll be going to my very bare face. Just a reminder, if you're not following me on Instagram, I have got a giveaway of the Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette. It's once I hit 1,000 followers, that'll be given away to one of you that's commented. The instructions are on the original post, so I will leave my handles on the screen somewhere and obviously link down below, so I'd love it if you went and checked that out. You could be in a chance of winning that, and let's get to the video. So I'm going to try and do exactly the same steps. The only thing that will be a little bit different is I forgot to take any blushes with me, so I borrowed a friend's blush. So I'm just going to use one of this blush palette as I'm using it as my mirror. So I started with a good spritz of my Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. So I have already moisturised, but I just had a good spray of this because my moisturiser had been on a while, as it has now. So I sprayed that and left it on, and put a big layer of my Nuxe Rev de Mel lip balm. So get some of that on. Okay, so I'm going to start with my eyes, which is what I did on the day to actually be able to clear up any fall down. So, normal Nars Pro Prime Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. I'm just going to pop a little bit on each eye. Now, I hope it isn't too bright in here. I did have somebody leave a comment to say that it's too bright to sort of see the makeup look properly. However, I wish I could just turn the camera to show you. It's such a strange light outside today. It looks like it's the middle of the night. It's so strange, and it's actually 12 o'clock. So I tried to wait for the day to brighten up, but it isn't brightening up. So I've had to use my studio lights, which I think maybe are making things a little bit too bright. So sorry if it is. Right, as always, I'm just going to take, this is just one of the Bold Metals, has it got a number or name? 200 brush. You can see it has been slightly used. This has come straight out the car from the hen weekend, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury powder. I'm just going to take a little bit and just dab that over where I've just put the primer, so that I don't get any of the product of the eyeshadow sort of sticking to it, and it will just take the stickiness away. Sorry if you can see spots all over my face. Obviously the amount of sugar and alcohol and everything consumed will not have done wonders for my skin. Okay, so Jaclyn Hill palette. I don't know if you can, if not I will do a close-up. I'm not sure how much will be in because you're obviously quite up close for my makeup. I started with a mixture of these two in the sockets. It was a really simple, quick eye. Obviously being bridesmaid, I wanted to try and be ready to be around and help. So I did this makeup sort of fairly early on well, I say early on, probably in the afternoon, about 1 o'clock. We'd been and sort of watched a film and chilled out, and I then went up to get ready and did my makeup fairly early on, knowing that if I did a fairly full look, I could just top it up on the night. So I'm just taking it really sort of lightly, just a mixture of those two shades in the socket, and really gently blending that out. obviously was feeling slightly delicate after the first night, so I'm not sure, not 100% sure that this is the exact shades, but I'm pretty sure it is. As I say, I had a few people comment that they really liked it, and a few people comment on my base. I've taken that way too high. I'm very sleep deprived. Let me find another brush here just to blend that out a bit. I do like to take it quite high because I have slightly hooded eyes. When you open it, you lose a lot of it, so for me I do normally take my shadow pretty high up towards where the brow is anyway, but obviously I need a bit of a balance. So I'm taking this sort of the whole way, not quite into like the very inner corner, but to about here, and then just blending it so that there's not a harsh edge where it finishes. Right, I then went in with a smaller brush. Oh yeah, sorry, this is my favourite Real Techniques B04 brush. I then went in with a smaller brush, which is my Nars brush, which unfortunately they don't make anymore, but it's one of my favourite ever eyeshadow brushes. Where is it? Here. So, I mean, there's loads of similar things on the market, so it's just got that sort of smaller head. And I went in with this colour here, which I'm now just going to take a little bit below to create a bit of a sort of darker crease, and this bit's right in the crease of my eye, so I always do it with my eye open so I can see where the crease is, and I start really not worrying about how sort of neat or messy it is because I'll blend it out, but just to create enough depth to really sort of see that. As you can see with this shade, I'm only taking that really to about halfway. Okay, so now I'm going to take it back to the original brush that will have some of the lighter colour on. I'm just going to blend that. I think, as I'm sure you know from the millions of people in the world that go on about it, but blending's key. You know, what you don't want are really harsh lines where the colours meet. You want them to naturally sort of fade into each other. And just carry on doing that a little bit until you get the right depth. I'll whiz past the other eye for you because it's just the same process. Right, so now I'm just going to take on this brush a tiny little bit above of the original colour just to add a bit of sort of further warmth to that. I think we've lost a bit of it with the darker colour. Sort of blend that out. And I don't, as always, I never really sort of worry about here because I will neaten that up with concealer and sort of foundation and what have you. Then I actually decided, which is unlike me, but I used this big bold metals brush again, the 200, and took this really light shade in the bottom corner and put that all over my lid and went for quite you know, a light eye, which normally I would still make it really sort of quite smoky, but I went for light all over the lid. I'm not sure if that was the colour, it looks a bit whitey. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of this one. I can't, as I say, I can't fully remember the exact look, and although it was light, I feel like that looks almost white. So I'm just going to press a little bit of this shade all over. And then I definitely went back in and obviously smoked out the corner. And for that, I used my little Nars brush again, and I actually went in with this shimmer. They were named on a clear sheet when they came, but I couldn't really be bothered to keep that. So I'm just going to have to point them out to you. And I just added this to the dark corner area. So I've got a bit of fall down here, but again I will tidy that up. So I'll do the same with the other eye and come back to you. Right, so now I took on, this is I think my Lottie London sort of little flat brush, but it's not quite, I've got another smudge brush, which is my Nars one, which is quite a bit thinner. This is a little bit thicker, and I just took the original colour, the very first colour that I started with, and really gently smudged that under the whole of the bottom of the eye. Did that on both eyes. I think because this brush is a bit thicker, it sort of almost blends it as you go, so rather than a really sort of harsh line, it's fairly blended out. And then just take a bit of the darkest colour that I've just put in, that more metallic colour, and just put that just right at the corner. But I didn't take that all the way along the eye. Then I'm just going to use the Nars brush to just blend that in. Again, I know at this point it's quite messy, but I do neaten up. So I then took the matte waterproof liner from Maybelline, which I really like, and did just eyeliner. Now this one is a very black, and when it dries it does dry matte, which I'm undecided on at the moment. I think I do probably like a bit more of a shine to mine than matte, but I do love how easy it is to apply. I've had a lash lift at the moment, and it makes it really hard to get behind my lashes to do my eyeliner. I don't know how people with naturally curly eyelashes cope. Like, I find it really difficult. eyeliner is not my forte. So that's them done. Then I'm just gonna, oh dear, I was gonna say give it a wipe. Let me go and get a wipe, hang on. So I've just grabbed, you can see some cotton wool and micellar water, neatened up along the eye and created that sort of sharper line, and in doing that I can see where I just need to add a little bit more sort of depth really. Let's just smudge that back a little bit. So I'm just going to nip back in with my Nars brush and take the darker shade. Right, then let's get a little bit more of this because I've made more of a mess, but just to make it a bit thicker. And we'll just neaten up again. You can probably tell I'm struggling today, guys. I am certainly not feeling at my finest. This will come as no surprise to people that watch regularly. It's my Nars Pro Prime Instant Line and Pore Perfector. I just drew that round the nose where I always get the pores and just push that in. A little bit here, a little bit on the chin. I push that in. I'm pretty sure I did a pump of my Bourjois Sculpt Bronze Illuminating Cream, which obviously makes my face a really crazy colour, but it just had a lovely glow. So I just rub that over the whole face and use it like a primer. And then obviously when you put your foundation on, it helps cover up the craziness, but it just helps give a glow through. So I went for my very favourite ever, this would be my #1 definite ride or die foundation. It's RMK Creamy Foundation in 103. That's because I did have quite a lot of fake tan on, a lot of it's sort of come off now. I don't think it comes in this packaging anymore, but because I have it in so many shades and I don't use it all the time, I do use it for special occasions, not for like, because I like to say best, but I do think it's the one that makes my skin look the nicest, and I always like that for a sort of special occasion that I would have a foundation that I think looks nicer than everyday foundation. So I don't use it all that much anymore, so I haven't need to replace it, but I'm pretty sure it comes in a bottle now rather than the tub. So I used a beauty blender and just worked it all over the face. I'm sure you know the drill. I didn't have these spots to cover up. They have totally appeared after the weekend. As I say, now this is going to be a difficulty to blend down my neck because it is too dark for me, but this is the shade I use, so I kind of wanted to give that look all over so you could see the kind of look to the face. So you'll have to just excuse that it isn't the perfect match, but I don't think the look would look the same if I used a pale foundation, because I think the eyes and everything look nice on quite a glowy, more tanned base. I think every single one of the hens has gone back to work today except me and I think obviously one of the ladies on maternity leave, I don't know if there's any other, oh yeah, there'll be a couple on maternity leave, but other than that everyone's back at work today, so I'm feeling for them. We did about 5 hours of karaoke, so I think a lot of people will be missing their voices today. I certainly am. I tried to sing along to my Spotify playlist this morning whilst I was drying my hair, and there were just like no notes coming out, no notes at all, so I can imagine they're not feeling great. So now I've put my base on, I can already see that there's some areas I want to blend more with the eyes. I know that sounds weird, but I just feel like when my base is on, I really can see where I like my eye, where I like the eyes to be blended and what have you. So I'm going to go in back with the Bold Metals brush, because the other one's got a lot of product on now, and just take here, just it needs to be softened in the corner a little bit more, and here. And where this dark colour joins the softer colour, I'm just really gently blending over that. I don't want to lose the depth, but that does need a little bit more of a blend. Okay, I then came back with some glitter on the eyes, but I did that at the end. So I know I then went in with my anti-age the eraser eye, but this is the Brightener. So this is the pink tone one, so it's not the concealer. And I took a load of that under the eyes, which I really needed, as we'd only had a little bit of sleep, because this was the second night. And just gently press that in again with the Beauty Blender. And you can see it does a really good job of sort of brightening and masking the dark circles. And obviously I go back and balance the colour out with an actual concealer, but get the darkness cancelled first, deal with that issue, then we'll match it up to the skin. So I used the Tarte Shape Tape, which I don't love. It's got a massive head. I don't love it as much as everybody else seems to, but I'm just going to take a bit in the middle to sort of lighten here. That should be enough. It goes really far, so that little tiny bit under the eye should spread. I don't hate it. I've never known a concealer more hyped up. Like, people love this concealer. Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow in Kitten Karma, and it comes on your doe foot applicator. And I'm just going to dot straight off the applicator, just gently, because there's a lot on there, some glitter in the corner of my eye. It was a hen do after all, so I feel like you can go full glam. And I just added that to the corner of the eyes, and then went in with my tiny little Louise Young brush, the LY13. It's a tiny little pencil brush, just to then like sort of dab that where I want it. You have to work quite quickly, because obviously it does set down and then it doesn't really budge, just to sort of blend it out a little bit. There we go. I'll put a quick lick of mascara on. I wore falsies, but I always like to coat my own lashes. So I'll do that now so that they can dry before I put my lashes on. As so I had a lash lift, which means I find that I don't need to curl my lashes, and mascara goes on really easy. I don't have to use waterproof mascara, which is a lot easier to remove my mascara. But it just makes applying eyeliner rather challenging. Real Techniques setting brush, use the YSL Soufflé Declare in 01, which I'm sure is called Rose. I say this every time, it doesn't say on the packaging. Tiny little bit, and I'm just going to run that under the two eyes to sort of set where I've just applied those million layers of brightener and concealer and everything. Now I can see that obviously there's a real difference in colour to the face now, so don't worry, I'm going to sort of even that up. So on the B01 from Real Techniques, I'm just going to take a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury powder and sort of set where I'm going to apply the bronzer and contour. So I find that I get some sticking. I'll just put that over the little spots as well to try and set that concealer. So a little bit everywhere. What I find with this powder though that's really nice is it doesn't completely take the glow away, which is obviously the dream for somebody that's trying to get glow. So I'm going to go with my Maxfactor. In fact, I'm going to start with a bit of my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in medium, and I just took my little travel size Real Techniques contour brush, and I didn't do anything too crazy, but just the normal, you know, little bit in the sort of hollows of the cheeks and blend it out. So just a little subtle bit of the contour, which I take here and sort of just work out in circular motions, and then I blend it out a little bit more with the bronzer itself in a minute. Just taking a little bit around the edge of my hairline. Just use a bigger brush, it'll help to, bigger mirror, help to see. I did put these on my Instagram, I'm not sure if you will have seen, but I absolutely love these little travel size brushes. I found them in Boots the other day and I really was very excited by them. They're the normal full size head that you would get on, you know, like any other brush, but just with the stubby handle. When normally travel brushes, I find you actually have to lose on the quality of the brush itself as well. So I really like those. I was really excited to pack. Oh no, I have such bad luck on here. We've got a mirror that's come off, but don't worry. Yeah, I'm just going to take that out or we're going to have the product smashed. So then, yeah, so I went in with my big Real Techniques brush with my favourite Maxfactor bronzer in light gold. Load the brush up, and then what I like to do is sort of just pat that on the cheeks over where like above sort of where the contour is, to warm up the cheeks. And then, to be fair, I did sort of just more or less take it around the whole face, because as I say, I had a lot of fake tan on and I never fake tan my face, so it was quite a few shades lighter. But you're just going to have to try and imagine that my neck's as dark, because it was at the time. So around the temples. I'll try and take it down the neckline for you today so that it does match up a bit better. And I'm going to have to dab it here to try and not remove the concealer from over these spots. Then I'm just going to take a tiny little bit just under the eyes where I've already set, because I hate it when you're on camera and the under eye area looks sort of super white. So as much as I want it lighter, I do still want to be able to see, you know, a bit of a blend, not like, oh, look at your brown face, and then you're really super white under eye area. Because I just think it becomes really obvious that you've got a lot of makeup on. So I just try and take a little bit. Oh, my lashes from the lash lift, I don't normally have this issue, have actually smudged. Okay. So I'm going to leave the base there for a minute and just do my brows. So I've done the one brow, and I'm just going to fill the other one in for you on camera, and I used the Eylure Fleur de Force brow pencil, and I used it in the shade light, and you get a lighter and a darker colour. They do a light, medium and dark. Now I think I might need to pick up the medium, because now I've got the darker roots. I find that my brows need to be a little bit darker and the lighter end is a little bit too light. But yeah, I decided to go for this rather than my brow pomade, which I never normally do. So the way I normally do my brows is I sort of fill in the base line and follow the line straight up and fill in where I need to, and do all the sort of the underside line, and then I sort of but sort of match where the line is on the top, and I just do little strokes to fill them in, that it's nothing too heavy, and try and stroke in the way that my brows naturally go. So at the front they go upwards, and then obviously they go more to the side, and just try to create that line. Obviously for a night out, you can see from this brow I've gone a little bit fuller than normal. They're still fairly thin brows really, I don't have a lot of brow hair, so I have to work with what I've got. So as I say, now I've created this sort of line along the bottom. So now I sort of try and mirror that across the top. And I can see I have a few here, not many at all, but there's a few there where my arch naturally wants to go. As with, I would say, most people, my brows are not sort of identical. Right, so that is the brows done. So I'm now going to take a little bit of highlighter with my Morphe M501 brush, and I used the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. And what I tend to do is just really mix a bit of the two, and take that on the high points of the cheek. I really struggled knowing which highlighter to pack, which I put on Twitter, you know, first world problems. I know it's really silly, but I really like highlight. I would say is probably my favourite makeup items. Like I really do love highlighter. I've got so many at the moment that I really love, and that I look forward to applying. So I'm just going to run a little bit here on the brow bone. So yeah, I ended up packing two, but this was the one that I used in the end. Obviously it's new and I'm really enjoying it. And then just a little bit above the brow. Sending that sort of in a C. So as I say, I didn't actually have my blusher with me, so I used Friends, but I used a shade that I would say is quite similar to this tone here, which is Takeover by Nars. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of that on the cheeks. Now I always apply my highlighter underneath my blusher, and I've said this before because I just like that when you then apply blusher, it sort of helps blend it in a little bit, rather than it being, you know, it is quite a strong highlighter that I've used, but it just helps it blend a little bit more. I mean, it's never going to look natural or subtle when you're going for such a strong highlighter, but just to help it look a little bit more blended in. So now I'm going to apply my lashes, and then I'll be back with lashes on. So all we've got left now is lip, and I line my lip with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude. And I, as always, drew it all over the lip. I tend not to really overline the lips. I do just go with my normal lip shape. I know you obviously can overline with these pencils, but now I did put on, I believe, the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Bow and Arrow. Oh no, here it is. I was about to say but it's yet to be unpacked, but no, it is here. So I then did a little layer of this all over. And then right before we went out, once this had dried down, I put a little bit, I wonder if I can fan it to dry, a little bit of my favourite ever nude lipstick, which is the Nars Audacious in Barbara. So I did do that because I just think it helps my lips not feel as dry. But I know that I've then got this layer. I mean, it's a little bit tacky, but it will do. So I need to buy a new one desperately. That's all that's left. I'll put a little bit of this on. Over the top, and that there was my Hendu makeup. It was quick, obviously it's taken a bit long when I talked you through. I think I probably would have done the whole thing in sort of 15 minutes, so it certainly wasn't a really long makeup look. And then right before we went out, oh, I know what I did miss. One last little bit. I just took the little mini Louise Young brush that you've just seen me use, and I took the right hand shade and just took, oh, that is not the right brush, where is it? Here, the little one, and just put a tiny little bit more sort of defined highlighter under the brow bone and on top of the glitter. And that there was my Hendu look. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe down below and give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye.